Who the fuck am I to talk about who would have won Drag Race? Honestly, nobody important, but I am also a woman with opinions, foreskin, and extensive hair loss. Thanks, parents. So, I'm gonna talk about this. Now, I'm the type of a person that doesn't get mad when it comes to X person winning Drag Race. I may disagree with some choices, as you will see soon, but for the most part, I understand why each person won. However, some people won Drag Race based on things that aren't exactly Drag Race the competition related, but rather Drag Race RuPaul's TV show related, and that is okay. But when it comes to competitions, I always want to keep things as fair as possible. May the best woman win and all that shit, you know? When I say my criteria in the title, and if you have seen some of my previous videos, you know that by this I mean that whoever wins the most out of the 3 criteria wins. And the criteria is as follows. 1. Who, primarily out of the top 3 or 4, had the best track record, or as I like to call it, PP score, based on this scoring system. 2. Who, primarily out of the top 3 or 4, spent the most times on the top of the competition. Top of the competition meaning based on the point system in place, who had the most points each episode per episode each week. It's kind of confusing, but like, we'll get there. And 3, who had the best storyline. Recently, I also decided to add in another sub-criteria, or like an asterisk criteria, that if a queen in the top 2, top 3, or top 4 had been in the bottom 2 more than once, they immediately cannot win, because no winner so far has been in the bottom 2 more than once. Yes, Trixie was in bottom 3 on All Stars 3 twice, but that's bottom 3. For the Kitty Girls challenge, for example, she did much better than Shangela and Kennedy, and her placement in the bottom 3 was more situational rather than, oh, you were bad, so she also kinda still fits into this last criteria, but for All Stars 2 and All Stars 3, I don't look at this criteria because again, sometimes the bottom 2 is a bottom 3, and sometimes a queen's placement in said bottom 2 or bottom 3 is situational. Without any further ado, let's start with season 1. Here is the scoreboard for that season. As you can see, the first category of the best PP score goes to Nina. Now, let's look at the second category, and we will do it step by step just so you see what exactly I'm looking at. So, in episode 1, queen that has the most points is Nina. In episode 2, it's Ongina. Episode 3 has a tie between Ongina and Nina, while episode 4 goes to Ongina. Episode 5 goes to Nina, as does episode 6. The finale episode doesn't count unless there's lip syncing for the crown, but more on that later. So, Nina was on the top of the competition 4 times and Ongina 3 times, and no other queen this season was ever on the top. Just think about that for a second. The person that won the competition not once was the best. So yeah, the second category also goes to Nina, which makes her the winner of season 1, based on my criteria, because she won 2 out of the 3 categories. For the third category, or criteria or whatever, of the best storyline, I'd say Bibi would win that one if we're looking at the top 2 and 3, but if we're looking at the whole season, it's either Chanel or Ongina, but that doesn't matter. So yeah, Nina Flowers. In season 2, the first category is won by Tyra. The second category shows us that Morgan was on the top of the competition twice in episodes 1 and 2. Pandora was on the top of the competition 4 times in episodes 2, 4, 6, and 7. Tyra was on the top of the competition 7 times in episodes 2 with Morgan and Pandora, then 4 and 7 with Pandora, and solo in 3, 5, 8, and 9. Thus, the second category is also won by Tyra, which makes the third category kind of irrelevant, but I'd say that Juju had the best storyline of kind of being in general more entertaining and more well-rounded than Raven and Tyra, but never actually winning a main challenge and in the end taking 3rd place. But Tyra wins overall. For season 3, in the first criteria or category or whatever the fuck, we have Manila as the winner. Now, here's something interesting. I'm pretty sure that if we take away the mini challenge points, Manila and Raja would have been tied. But that's the reason why I started counting mini challenges. Yes, for the most part, they're stupid and silly and whatever. But again, for the most part, they're there to show how resourceful the queens can be in a short amount of time, which is a good quality to have. And it's the second reason why I started counting the mini challenges as well. The second criteria or category or whatever the fuck shows us that Manila was on the top of the competition 3 times in episodes 5, 12, and 13. Alexis was also on the top of the competition 3 times in episodes 4, 5, and 6. And Raja was at the top of the competition 8 times in episodes 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So the winner of the second category is Raja, but like, it's 100% Raja. And while we're on her, let me just say this. Whenever I said that Raja won season 3 because she knew Tyra and RuPaul prior to the season, I was not trying to say that she was not talented. I'm saying that it 100% helped her win that she knew them. Do I think that she would have won had she not known them? I think that Yara would have been in the top 3 and would have had more main challenge wins and Raja less, is all I'm gonna say. Wait, what category are we on right now? Ah, yes, the third one. So yeah, who had the best storyline? I've no fucking clue. Raja was a bully, and even when she was in the bottom 2, she never had a bad showing. Alexis had a lot of mini storylines, while Manila was kind of just there following Raja, but at times breaking out of the Heathers Boogers dynamic to help Stacy, Yara, or Alexis. I guess just because Alexis actually had some storylines, she gets to win the third category, so we have a 3-way tie, which is why we gotta bring in the bonus criteria or category of if you've been in the bottom 2 more than once, you cannot win. So yeah, bye-bye Alexis. So I guess season 3 is a tie between Manila and Raja? Yeah, sure, I'm okay with that. In season 4, we encountered something very interesting. Willem actually has the best PP score on her season, but I guess since she was eliminated, or rather disqualified, we're not looking at her, making Sharon the winner of the first category. For the second category, yeah, whatever, I'm changing it to categories, not criteria. We have this. Willem was on the top of the competition once, and in the episode that she was eliminated in. Why the fuck is she so iconic? Chad was on the top 6 times in episodes 2, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10, while Sharon was just a little bit better than Chad, topping the competition 7 times in episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 9, and 11. Thus, Sharon wins this category too, so she is the default winner. But also, Sharon definitely had the best storyline of season 4 and is that winner of Drag Race. Let's see if the winner is as clear on season 5 as it is on 4. Firstly, Alaska and Jinx are tied for the first category. The second one shows us a lot of variety. Roxy, Lineisha, and Alaska were on the top of the competition once each in episode 1, 2, and 11 respectively. Ivy and Detox were on the top of the competition twice each in episodes 2 and 4 for Ivy and 3 and 4 for Detox. Jinx was on the top of the competition 8 episodes in a row from episode 4 to episode 11. So the winner of the second category is Jinx. She's also the winner of the third category. Honestly, Alaska's Sharon just won Drag Race and I'm in her shadow storyline was nice, but nothing beats an underdog that's not really an underdog but is literally bullied by other contestants' storyline that Jinx had. So yeah, Jinxie wins. Okay, so season 6. Bianca wins the first category, but like she wins it, like she owns it, like she has the best PP score out of any queen ever. Because season 6 had 2 first episodes, kinda, we're gonna look at them as one episode. So Bianca and Dela topped the competition in episode 1/2, and that's how we're gonna count it. Now, let's look at the rest. Milk. Yes, Milk, and Trinity were on the top of the competition in episode 3, while Adore was also only once on the top of the competition, but for her it was episode 7. Dela was on the top of the competition 5 times in episodes 1/2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Bianca, however, was on the top of the competition 7 times in episodes 1/2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So Bianca wins the second category, making her the definite winner. However, I'd say that the third category would go to Adore. Ironically, I Can't Love You came on shuffle as I was writing her name. Season 7 is a weird one, and you'll see why. If you look at the table of how the queens did, you'll see that Kennedy, based on track record, should have been in the top 3 instead of Pearl. Ginger did better than Violet, and then also Katya and Max have a better PP score than Pearl, while Mrs. Kasha Davis and her have the same PP score. But I guess none of this matters cause no cameras are rolling. So yeah, Ginger wins the first category. The second category shows us that Max was on the top of the competition once, in episode 5, Kennedy and Violet were on the top of the competition twice each, episodes 8 and 10 for Kennedy, and episodes 1 and 2 for Violet. Ginger wasn't just on the top of the competition 9 times, but she also has an 8 episode streak of being on the top. Episodes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 11. So yeah, Ginger wins the second category, while I think the best storyline goes to Pearl. I mean, how can it not? Now, here's where the season gets extra weird. Every single queen from the top 4, and even top 6, except for Violet, has been in the bottom 2 twice, pretty much making Pearl's and Ginger's category wins useless and then Violet winning by default. I mean, sure, Ginger could have been the first winner who lip-synced for her life twice, but she wasn't. In season 8, Bob wins the first category. The second category shows us this. Kim was on the top of the competition only once in the first episode. Chi-Chi and Acid Betty were in the top twice each. Chi-Chi in episodes 2 and 3, and Acid in episodes 3 and 4. Bob was on the top 4 times in episodes 5, 6, 7, and 8. So basically, the first half of the season was the Queens kind of showing off until Bob stole the show with his Snatch game. Torgy was dropped twice in season 8. And the third category goes to Chi-Chi. I know that she wasn't in the top 3, but she had a better storyline than all the girls in the top 3. Naomi's was like, oh, she has legs. Oh wait, she can also make clothes. Okay. Kim's was like, oh, she's clumsy and kind of a lovable dork who can't walk properly in heels. Oh wait, that doesn't change at all till the end of the season. Cool. And Bob's was like, okay, so let me lay low a bit. Oh, it's time for me to kill the competition. Yeah, let me do that. So yeah, Chi-Chi wins the third category, but overall, season 8 was Bob's season. For seasons 9 and 10, I did separate videos, and I have no idea how to add those thingies on the video so that you can just click and go watch if you want. So I will leave the links on the top of the description. Now, All Stars 1. Team Shad wins the first category. For the second category, we have this. Team Latrilla was on the top once in episode 1, while Team Rujubi was on the top once in episode 2. Team Yarlexis were on the top twice in episodes 2 and 3. Team Shad were on the top thrice in episodes 3, 4, and 5, meaning that Team Shad wins the second category. Or Team Shad win the second category. I don't know. However, the third category goes to Rujubi. So, with Team Shad having 2 wins and Rujubi 1, Team Shad is the winning team. Since Chad saved Team Shad from being eliminated in episode 1, she wins over Chanel. But also she wins over Chanel because she's Chad fucking Michaels. All Stars 2 and All Stars 3 have a slightly different point system, but the same criteria applies. In All Stars 2, Alaska wins the first category, of course, and the second one, of course, but let's see by how much. Roxy was on the top of the competition in episode 1, Alaska was on top of the competition in every other episode, so 6 times. The best storyline probably would go to Alaska 2, or maybe even Katya, but it doesn't matter because Alaska's steamrolled the competition this season. All Stars 3. Oh boy. Each category is won by Dela, but because she had eliminated herself, we gotta look at the top 4 and then just look a little bit at the rest of the cast. So the first category in this case is then won by Shangela. The second one shows us that Dela was on the top of the competition every single episode, even in the episode that she wasn't in. But if we ignore that, Aja and Bibi take the second place to Dela once each in episodes 1 and 6 respectively, while Shangela 5 times in episodes 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. Thus, Shangela, after Dela, would have been the winner of All Stars 3, based on the categories or criteria or whatever the fuck that I put in place. And then, if we include the twist of the queens voting for the top 2, only then it's Trixie. But yeah, summa summarum, Ben de la Creme, I don't give a fuck, the season should have gone the way that it did in Lee Dawson's recaps. So, that's it. That's the video.